Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. How you doing? I'm playing a little bit with my ISO, I think is what Tristan called it. And don't mind me, I'm trying to play with it a little bit, so I'm learning, doing the manual setting instead of the auto setting. But hey, today's video, of course, is that catchy title once again, is my Rhino Rack system. As you previously saw in the trip I did with Lolo Overland Outfitting and Forbidden Off-Road, we stopped over at the Lolo Bat Cave and hooked my truck up with this Rhino Rack over here. Now, yeah, we did try doing a rock sliders and it didn't work out pretty good. No more information about that, but I will keep you guys up to date on that because I'm really looking forward to doing something to both give Trip here some protection as well as give myself a little something to step up on. So it was probably a good thing. Maybe it didn't work out very good, but we'll see. We're shopping around. But anyhow, hey, back to the Rhino Rack here. I just wanted to let you guys know what this was, why I got it, and you know, basically some details and information. So first and foremost, there will be information down below. You can reach out to Lolo Overland Outfitting. You can contact Josh, email and stuff like that. So Lolo's info will be down below. As well as if you want to get the specs and check out to see if there's something that will fit your specific vehicle, I'll also leave Rhino Rack's website down there. So you can go in there and say, fit my vehicle, and you can try kind of shop beforehand to get an idea of what it is that might work for your vehicle. But then don't forget, jump over to Josh, ask him any questions you need, and you might be able to hook you up with a nice little deal or a discount. No codes just yet, but just go ahead and reach out to him. Email is best. You can reach him through his website and let him know you watch this video and we'll see what happens. But anyhow, why I went to Rhino Rack? Well, let me see here. You know what? Let me put you guys down for a second. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Again, I'm trying to play with the colors and stuff like that, but the reason why I went with Rhino Rack is first and foremost simply because they were the only company that actually has something to fit the second generation Nissan Titans. I was shocked by that. I was actually quite surprised that of all the companies that are out there, I couldn't find anyone that could support me and trip out, you know, or check out Trip and get him set up to do the racks. Now, the reason behind this is a lot of these off-road companies are doing stuff for Toyotas and Jeeps and such. Well, like Toyota, for instance, we'll use that as an example. Toyota already has kind of a gutter and a channel, and some companies have gone and made a rack, or I should say a track system fit in that channel and everything. Well, Rhino Rack has more of a general purpose track system, but it did fit Trip, and it was the proper length for the Nissan Titan crew cab. So what Josh and I had to do is we actually had to lay out painter's tape and lay the track down, and we had to mark all the holes in the track, then pick it up, and then Josh went ahead and drilled all the holes right through Trip's roof. So talk about a pucker effect. I think he was more nervous than me. I thought I was in pretty good hands, but he really didn't want to mess up my truck, and he was really being diligent about it and really being cautious. The whole process, Tristan came out later in that morning and kind of helped us out a little bit, but the whole process, I think, took a couple of hours at best. I assembled the rack because the rack itself, the basket, the X-tray, I got the X-tray large. The X-tray came in a box and it came in a couple of pieces, and I went ahead and assembled that inside Josh's shop and got that all together and ready to rock and roll. And then I gave it to Josh and Tristan. We set it up there. I stood back and we kind of balanced it, evened out, and we got everything in place. You could do this at home, but you're definitely going to want two people. And you want two people because of you need two people to hold that track down as you're trying to get it, because the track will follow, it's aluminum, and it'll curve with your roof line. And when somebody's holding one end down and marking the holes, someone's gonna have to hold the other end to make sure nothing shifts. So this is definitely a two-person job. Then we needed the crossbars that went there, and those were Vortex crossbars. He got the standard size. It was a large size. He wasn't sure exactly how wide the roof line was gonna be in relation to the basket and how everything would look and what we wanted to mount on here. So he went with the larger ones, and I ultimately ended up cutting them back. I cut off about 8 inches off the bars that we got, and I put the end caps back on. One of the reasons is because I have that Goanna Morpho awning, and the awning carries over, as you see, over the cab of the truck towards the back seat, the back doors here, and it would actually run into one of the crossbars, the Vortex crossbars. So we had to slide the Vortex crossbars over and be away from them about an inch. When we initially did it, we hit the trails. We did it really close, and I could hear the awning bumping around a little bit and hitting the side of that Vortex crossbar. So when I got home after the trip, I went ahead and I readjusted everything and I pulled them back. And then on my driver's side, I went ahead, or on the passenger side, I should say, I went ahead and I measured off and I matched what the passenger side was. So, or the driver's side was a 2-inch overhang, and then I went and I made a 2-inch overhang and I cut the access off. Hopefully that made sense and it's not as clear as mud. But without that, being somewhat of an issue, I guess, everything worked out great. The basket put together really well. The tracks, everything went together really good. I think if you wanted to do something like this for your Nissan Titan, your 2nd gen, and you had a buddy come over, you are literally only looking at maybe 2-3 hours at the most to be able to put this together. Now, what's also really nice is, and I like the idea of what Rhino Rack did, is on the bottom of the tray, or on the bottom of the track system, it has 2 strips across there, and those strips were an RTV type material. Some of the guys that are mechanics and stuff, you know, RTV is a gooey type substance like caulk, used for gaskets and stuff. Well, they also make it in little sheets and strips for companies and that, you know, you want to adhere something, you know, metal to metal and such. And this RTV tape, it is so strong that when it hits the metal, it's a bear to pull off, and then it kind of like gets all a big mess and everything. So it's actually a lot nicer than silicone. And the track system that Rhino Rack provided me with came with these strips of RTV that were already installed on a track. You just had to peel the white tape off and apply it to the roof. But before doing that, they also gave us little tiny squares with holes in the middle. And what happened is what we would do is those little squares would line up with the bottom of the track where all the holes were in the track when we went to mount it to the roof of Trip. So when we applied that on there and attached the track to the roof, you have RTV inside in between there. That's awesome. That is bulletproof. You don't have the messiness of trying to do silicone. Silicone does break down after a while, like silicone caulks and stuff like that. So this RTV was a really, really nice, pleasant surprise. Now, attaching the track system, what we ended up doing is they provide you with stainless steel rivets. And I think they're a 3/16 inch diameter, but don't quote me on that. I do believe that was the diameter of each rivet. Oh, geez, I want to say 10 on each side. I think there was 10 rivets on each side. And again, stainless steel. Josh had the manual rivet set. It was a bit tough, to say the least, but it worked out great. Really nice and tight. They break off clean, and again, super pleased with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave information down below once again, but I definitely would say, do your research. If you have your Gen 2, look it up, go on rhinorack.com, and you can put in your vehicle number and all your year and stuff like that. And then you can see all that information and kind of put it to the side and take a look at what you want. They have 2 baskets. I went with the larger basket, and as you'll see, this is the extra large basket. It fits perfectly on the roof. They had one that was smaller, but I thought that would be a little bit too small, and it would look kind of odd on the top of the truck. And I did make a proper decision. Even Josh and Tristan said it looked really good. It was definitely symmetrical for the aesthetics and for the OCD and some folks like myself, but it gives me that little bit of extra room for storage. Now, getting to storage, this is not going to be used for a lot of heavy stuff. I'm not going to put my spare tire up there. I don't know why people put spare tires under roofs, because I don't want to have to lift up a 200-pound spare tire and put it on a rack and do all that stuff, especially if you got other issues. He does not like crows. I think I mentioned this before. We got one flying around over here and he's not liking them. He's protecting the chickens. But anyhow, so it's basically for, I want to get those dry bags and be able to put our clothing into dry bags and throw them up there. My ARB Tread Pros, put them up there. Maybe a bag of lightweight recovery gear like ropes or tow straps or something. Those are the reasons why I want that basket. Bundles of firewood, something that I could throw up there that I don't have to get to immediately, and that'll leave the back of the truck much more open and free for both, of course, Dutch to lounge around inside there, and for maybe later on making some adjustments in the back of the truck, because I'd really like to try to do some type of removable sliding drawer system, because we're going to try to do a trip next year and I'm going to need a refrigerator. That's right. So we're going to look at battery systems for the truck. We're going to be looking at refrigerator for the truck, and a lot of other things coming up in 2020. So you're gonna have to keep an eye out for that stuff. But again, I'll just throw some pictures in here or something, or a little B-roll footage from the installation. But again, Lolo, it's Lolo 4, the number 4, WD.com, or just click the link down below. It'll direct you right over to Josh's place. And again, do all your research and then reach out to him. Let him know I sent you and see what kind of deal you might be able to get. And if you're in the Oregon area or in Washington area, you might be able to drive down there like I did and get everything installed pretty quick. All right? You all have a good one, and thank you again for all the support. It's been great. It's been fun, and we're wrapping up 2019, and we're really close to that 10,000 subscribers. And you know what that means, right? Yes, giveaways. Woohoo! So you, remember, share, like, thumbs, all that big bucket. Keep me from the bottom of it. That's right. And we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.